How's it going, and welcome to The Guitar Effect. My name's Rob. This is going to be the last in a series of 3 videos about this, the Mooer GS1000 amp modeler and multi-effects unit. And what I'm going to be doing in this video is covering off capturing things. So in the first 2 videos, the first video went general overview, and the second video I showed its switching capacity in a live situation, and now I'm going to show how you would capture overdrive pedals. Unfortunately, I don't have an amp here and the equipment here in my studio to allow me to capture an amplifier, but any amplifier you could want is already available from Mooer's library, where other users can upload amp captures. I don't really feel the need. The amp captures, as I covered off in the last video, are really impressive. But there's some pedals there. There's loads of pedals, by the way, that are captured, because you can use this to capture a pedal as well as an amp. The pedals there, some of the pedals I kind of want aren't included, so I'm able to very easily use this at home to capture those pedals. It's going to be a really short video. I'm going to show you the pedals now that I'm going to capture, and then I'm going to get into the audio demo where I go through the process of capturing and show you how you can stack them and stuff like that. And at the end of this, then you will be ready to get amp captures as well as pedal captures to build, gain an amp side of your virtual rig on this, and I think it would do that very well. So just to show you, at the back of this, right, there is a expression pedal input, then there's a guitar input, but then there's this other input, and this is a microphone input, which you would use if you wanted to capture an amplifier, but it also is a combi jack, so you can plug in a jack in here. You use this input to be able to capture pedals. So what you do is you plug your guitar into the unit, plug the out into your amplifier, then you use the effects sound into the pedal, and the output of the pedal goes back into this input, and then you simply hit the sampling switch here, and it goes through the process of how you capture the pedal. And you then store the pedal, and then you can recall that capture anywhere in your signal chain that you want to use it. So that's how you use a unit. The pedal I'm going to capture today are the Love Pedal Amp 11, which is my favourite sort of almost like second channel on your amp type drive pedal, kind of transparent drive pedal. I'm also going to capture this. This is the Mosky Silver Horse. It's Mosky's clone, really great pedal. And then thirdly, I'm going to capture the Pigtronics Disnortion Micro, which is a fuzz, right? If I was building a rig to do anything really, I would happily include these 3 pedals in it. And so I want to be able to pull them into the virtual rigs I use, the GS1000 or indeed the GE1000 to build, because this is the GS1000, it's the newest unit. There's also another unit with an expression pedal on the end that has 2 more switches, has 1 more switch, that's 5 switches. That is the GE1000, which is exactly the same, except it doesn't have this jack at the back that allows you to do the amp capturing, or any capture for that matter. So, but you can load any of these captures onto that unit. So that's the intro. I suppose thanks to Mooer for sending me out the GS1000. It's a brilliant piece of kit. I'm really impressed with it. So right now, let's get into the audio demo. Okay, so for the demo, what I've done is I've taken 3 pedals. In this case, the Mosky Silver Horse, the Disnortion Micro from Pigtronics. Mosky Silver Horse is a clone. The Disnortion Micro is a fuzz pedal and an overdrive pedal. And it has this filter knob here, which allows me to select between loads of different fuzzes. I use 2. I use a mid-pushed fuzz, and I use a big muff fuzz from it. And then over here, I have the Low Pedal Amp 11. This acts as like my distortion dirty channel, my amp. This acts like a mid-push boost, and this acts as like either, like, as I said, a big muff scooped fuzz or a sort of mid-forward fuzz. I have it set in the mid-forward fuzz position at the moment. It can also do overdrive, but I only use it for fuzz, right? So on the GS1000, I have the 3, I've already done the captures, by the way, right? So what I'm going to start off is comparing the captures and the analog pedals. So right here I have the capture of the Mosky, the capture of the Love Pedal, and the capture of the Pigtronics in a row here before the effects loop, which has all 3 pedals in it. So I'm going to like play them and compare them. And then I just go down to the end of the signal chain. I've got the UK30, AC30 capture, and a spring reverb. So without anything, my guitar sounds, and I'm playing my Bernie Les Paul, which is tangled up on the guitar stand. Give me 1 sec. Playing my Bernie Les Paul with P90s, and it sounds like this. Before we go any further, I'm just going to tune the guitar. Okay, so guitar tuned. First of all, on the effects loop, so here's the clean sound. Here is the amp 11. By the way, the amp 11 has two switches. It has a boost switch and an overdrive switch. I'm not using the boost in this instance, I'm just using the overdrive. So here is the amp 11. So it is like a mid-gain distortion sound. I can wind my volume down. So say that's my overdrive sound. And then I step on the clon for a lead boost. So clean, love pedal, clon and love pedal. Let's emulate that with the models. So clean, model of the love pedal, and then adding the Mosky in front of it. You may wonder why I didn't just go Mosky model, love pedal model. Because they don't sound exactly the same. Let me show you why. Right, so here is the clean sound. Here is the love pedal amp 11. Here is the model of the love pedal amp 11. Very, very, very close. And here is the clon. And here is the model of the clon. They're very close. What I want to actually do is see whether it can serve the same purpose. So can I go from clean in a verse to a dirty part in a chorus and then hit the boost for a lead with the pedals, but then do the same thing with the models and see, is the effect the same? Not do they sound the same, but does it give me the same dynamic punch, the same useful EQ change and the same gain change in a way that's useful to me, that warrants capturing the pedals? That's what I'm trying to find out. So let me show you. So I'm going to play this riff, right, like this. And then I'm going to go into a chorus. And then in solo. So here is the verse part, nothing. Into the chorus. And into the solo. Exact same thing with the models, right? Into the chorus. Into the solo. Knowing which to turn off. So what I'd say is, yeah, they do serve the same purpose. All of the models are more gainy, so I'd have to turn the gain levels down, and they're already down quite low. One thing I've noticed is when you capture a pedal, it captures it with more gain than what you put into it. And I thought maybe that had something to do with where you set this trim knob for the input on the back, but it doesn't. It just captures them with more gain. There's a control to lower the gain in the capture part, which I'll show you because I'm going to capture one of these pedals again, just to show you how I do it. But you do have to watch the gain. So the conclusion, oh sorry, the fuzz. Okay, so this was the least successful, okay? So here is the tone of the actual fuzz. First of all, there's noise, but it's not terrible. That's the fuzz pedal. Here's a model of the fuzz. Really, it doesn't sound anything like it. So it didn't manage to capture my fuzz, and that was after, in the modeling section or in the capturing section, I had spent a lot of time tweaking the EQ on the model to try and get it to sound more like the Disnortion Micro, and I just couldn't. It's way too toppy. The mid isn't there. It was just I just couldn't get it to sound like the original, unfortunately, and also it's horrendously noisy, so compared to the original. So it did a great job on the two of these, on the Mosky and the Love pedal, but it just didn't really manage to capture the Distortion, which is unfortunate. So what I'm going to do now is I will go over and capture the amp 11 again, just to show you how you do it, okay? So give me a second, I'm going to just go in and change things now to set up that, okay? Okay, so back in the room. The wiring is slightly different using the pedals in the effects loop than it is setting them up for capture, right? So what you do is, if I go back to where I was, you hit sampling. In this case, I want to capture a drive, you tap drive, and then you get into this menu. What it does here is it bypasses the amp modeling. So what I've done is I have turned on Amplitude and I'm running an AC30 in Amplitude. So the sound is slightly different, okay? So here is my guitar sound. So what you do, in this case I want to capture the amp 11. So how this works is you go into the input with your guitar, you go out of the effects send into the first pedal, and then you just like daisy chain the pedals together. So from the output of the amp 11 to the input of the Distortion, out of the Distortion into the input of the, sorry, out of the output of the Distortion, input of the Mosky, out of the Mosky, back into the input, the second input with the trim knob to capture your pedals, right? So I'm going to capture this amp 11, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to capture it with the boost on, just as a second thing to do. Okay, so here's my sound. Here's the amp 11. And here's the boost. How I do this is really simple. I go next and I go sample. Now, when I click sample, it's going to take about 3 minutes to capture the pedal. So I'll keep recording, but obviously I'll kill the, I'll fast forward that part. So there you go, it does the capture, and here is the sound of the pedal first of all. Here is the sound of the model. A little bit less gain, I think. So actual pedal with boost. Model. It might need a tad more bottom end. Target. Model. Okay, I'm happy with that. So what I do now is I go back to here to sample, I go save, and I choose a location for it. We'll go into empty, and we'll bring this back. Hit this and go love pedal. Love ped 11, and then we'll stick the letter B after it. I'll just call it love pedal 11 because I have no more characters. I can't add another character. Oh, I can. B. Now that is saved, that I can recall it anytime I want to use that pedal. So I have this with and without boost done. I have the silver horse done, and I have the Disnortion Micro done. So my conclusion here is, I mean, that one's very close there. It seems to with the ones I've done anyway, it didn't cope well with the Distortion particularly well, but it did the Overdrive pedals really, really well. And I would choose these Overdrive pedals because it would stop me from menu diving through testing out pedals that they either have as models themselves or that are captures that I can download online. I have incidentally taken in a capture of a OCD, which is my distortion pedal that I use, and it works really well. So in conclusion, at the end of all three of these videos, I would say I would definitely choose amp captures and pedal captures for my amp and gain pedal sounds. And it does this really, really well. So there you go. I'm just going to speak a little bit about the GS1000 overall, first of all. The amp captures that are available, as well as the amp models that are available, cover off any amp sound you might want to use. The ins and outs in this are great. This one doesn't have the XLR outs, which the GE1000 does, but it does have the extra jack, which, as well as capturing, as I showed you in the first video, allows you to route a second input. So for example, in the last video, or I can't remember what it's last one or first one, it was the last one, I use this to route an acoustic piezo pickup on my Telecaster straight through in one input and out one input that's completely different to the electric signal, which is really useful. The GE1000 can't do that because it doesn't have the extra input. So this one is compact. It's reassuringly heavy. It's not problematically heavy, but it's sturdy and solid enough that it has a bit of weight to it. It has all the ins and outs you'd need, bar, like I said, the XLRs, but you can just get a DI box to do that. The switching is really clever. You can add the FS4 foot switch for really affordable price to the front of this. This is €400 by the way, on Thomann, which is an absolute bargain. And it's really easy to use. So thanks very much to Mooer for sending this out. I've really enjoyed demoing it. This is the last in the series of 3. I'll stick the playlist up here, by the way, if you want to have a look at that playlist of all 3 videos about this unit. And that's kind of it. As you can see, combining it, pedals that you capture yourself with the various amp captures that are available, or indeed capture your own amp, works really, really well. Mooer have a really, really solid unit here, and I've really enjoyed these few demos. So that's it. Any questions, throw them in the comment section down below and I will answer them. If you've watched this far, as always, I'll ask you please like and subscribe. It helps the channel out massively. And yeah, I guess I'll see you in another video again soon. Thanks to Mooer for sending this out, and thanks for you for watching, and I'll catch you in another one. Bye.